prayer, follow my pledge of allegiance.
Father God, we thank you for your kindness in bringing us all together today. Though we may not know what this meeting holds, we know that you do. As we begin, Lord, help us to keep your word in mind. Lead us into conversations that are fruitful and enrich the lives of those who are here today. When we are undecided, please lead us in your wisdom. When our opinions may disagree, help us to remain respectful to one another. More than anything, Lord, would you help us both to seek your will and to pursue your glory through all that we say and do. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, call a meeting to order for agenda business. First item is the public comment. Sheriff?
Device?
Richard?
Yeah, I just come back one last time. I wanted to cover a few things I didn't get to cover in the August 4th meeting. I gave Mrs. Eisman some exhibits 1 through 18. I gave the sheriff exhibit 18, dealt with body cam questions. I just want to make a few statements. The change happens from the bottom up, not the top down. With regard to my criticism, I want to make it perfectly clear. I only criticizing supervision. I have nothing against the working bees. Like I said, I came back today because, I didn't get to finish August 4th meeting because I only limited to 5 minutes. I just want to touch on a few subjects real quick. With the Freedom of Information Act, I still ain't getting the exemptions. You have to cite an exemption. I never get an exemption. I just get told to go somewhere else, and that's really not the way you do it. I tried to cover it at least 3 times, but I still get the same response. It seems like no matter what I do, you guys do what you want. So I guess that's what I'll have to do what I want. I sent in some emails, a few phone calls about the August 4th video. I think you guys finally put it up the other day, but I never got any replies. I just thought that was kind of rude, but I know people get kind of busy, but I just think they should try to at least return something. I want to deal with, I've talked about before, the injustice system in this county. If anybody knows it, I know it better than anybody in this county. I have dealt with a civil suit. I had a judge that basically was disgraced off the bench. Then I had an assistant prosecutor that ran out of the adjacent county that's here now. And then I had to go down to that clown show down there at the Tiger Valley Regional Jail, which they have and I, excuse my language, a real bad guy in charge of it. But I dealt with the city and the county on both things. With the Freedom of Information Act and everything, there's no comparison. The city blows you guys away. I mean, they return their calls, they do everything. I don't have no trouble with the mayor. I mean, even the chief of police. But the county is just, I've lived here 22 years in this county, and I've never seen so many corrupt liars and thieves in my life that hide behind the Bible and the kids and that flag up there. And I was, during that one meeting they had back in June, there was a guy named Vander. If I mispronounce his name, I'm sorry. I'm not like him. I'm not gonna sit back and take personal attacks and rudeness because I'm a counterpuncher. I'm not saying that's hypothetically speaking. I ain't gonna punch nobody. But what I'm saying is I come here for one reason today, and this is what I expect to happen. I expect a personal apology from Dave Keesley, because I was treated rude this whole time when I first came here to try to hash out my differences. Then Brian Talkington needs to personally apologize to my wife, my kid, and my mother-in-law, because he forcefully harassed and threatened them. And everybody talks about kids all the time here, but then my son was thrown out the window. And then Alexa Poling needs to personally apologize to my wife for threatening her. Then the last thing is the sheriff. He needs to retract that statement he put in the paper, because that was nothing but a hit job. It was nothing but a pack of lies. That's all it was. He wasn't even there. And that's what I expect to happen. So if that don't happen, then we're going to do some counterpunching. And then I don't want everybody melting like snowflakes when I start doing it. But the main thing is, I'm not hard to find. Everybody knows where I live. They know my address. They know my email. They know my phone number. I'm not hard to find. I don't run from nobody in this county. Never have, never will. And that's what I wanted to say. The last thing I want to say is this to the powers to be in this county. And I'm not making any threats or nothing. I'm just saying people better stay away from my family. Or my family has been instructed to crush this county legally and financially. So help me God. Thank you for your time and attention.
Anybody else, Sheriff?
No, sir.
All right, next item on the agenda is reports. Brett, you got anything from the Congressman's office?
Nothing right now, except always we're ready to assist with any kind of, grant applications.
All right, thank you, Sheriff.
No.
Brenda? All right, correspondence? Next meeting?
The 15th.
All right, 15th?
Minutes.
All right, we'll go ahead and approve the minutes from our August 18th meeting.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of August 18th, 2022 as submitted.
All right, motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from our August 18th meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Items for discussion. We have an informational presentation from Huntsville PSD.
You can come on up to the.
So that way it's on the record.
Okay. Alright, my name's Corey Weiss. I'm the chairman of the board for Huntsville PSD. What we come today to ask you guys is to help us with financial for funding for an interconnection between Huntsville PSD and the town of Mill Creek and the town of Huntsville. More like a permanent connection, so if the town of Mill Creek would run out of water, Huntsville PSD could serve them. On that line is George Ward Elementary School, Tigers Valley High School, and Valley Healthcare Clinic. I brought Ken Chambers with me today to speak on, he has more information on our behalf, so I'll let him speak now.
Good afternoon, I'm Ken Chambers from Goshen Engineers. I'm the engineer for Huntsville PSD. Sometime late last fall, the town of Mill Creek initiated a water distribution system project, and they had approached the PSD concerning making a secondary connection to their system. And at that time, we had told the town of Mill Creek, we can't do this. Where you guys are proposing the connection will not be supported by the PSD. They just can't do it. They don't have the water there. They're weak in the system. So with that, we had submitted a proposal to the town of Mill Creek. Instead of making this connection here, why don't we make this a permanent connection where we can provide all the water and pressure that the town needs as originally intended when the new plant was built for the Huntsville Public Service District. So that's about $1 million project, and that's really what we're pushing, that have been pushing the town to go towards. And this would also benefit the Correctional Center, Town of Huntsville, Town of Mill Creek, and Huntsville Public Service District. You know, all these entities are involved in this at this point. And when you start to go back to look at the original documents, when the treatment plant was built, this dates back to the late 90s, early 2000s. All these communities, and even the county commission, were in a partnership to move forward with this plan. And at that time, it was intended in this system to build a treatment plant to be able to provide water essentially all the way up to the city of Elkins. So now you've got projects going on in the town of Mill Creek. I don't know if Beverly's actually doing anything or not, but we're just here to approach the county commission to let you guys know this is what was intended when the treatment plant was built. We would just like some assistance from the community to try to put these things into place at this point.
So what kind of assistance are you looking for? How much?
$8 million. We'll take two if you have it.
How much funding have we given, out of the ARP funding? 207?
Two something.
We've already given 250, 278, I believe, thousand to Huntsville out of our ARP funding. Our ARP funding's been used up.
Okay.
So I mean, we need some kind of number to work with.
Well, we actually have an estimate for that interconnection of $1 million project.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's where it gets into the political realm, is you have the PSD, you got the town of Mill Creek, of course, nobody wants to raise their rates to do this. So any kind of grant funding would be great. State level, county level, whatever we can
Well,
get.
there is grants out there for it, but they usually take about a year to get them completed and get approval and get the money. So from start to finish is about a little bit about over a year
Are you talking about a state level or on the county level?
on any grant that we do.
Okay.
I mean, we could
For
check with
water
our,
projects.
we could check with our grant writer and see if there's anything out there for it, and then, but, so we've, expended almost all of our ARP funding.
Right.
What's left is for things that we've already had earmarked that we're just waiting for the funding or the,
Verification from the.
verification,
agency.
to come in before we can pay
Right.
for them and get them started. So we're limited right now with that.
Well, again, this is just informational only, but we're here just to say the communities in the southern part of the county, this is affected by them. This is what was intended in the initial plan, and it would benefit everybody. Quality, safe, reliable source of water, and you guys are probably aware, town of Mill Creek had an incident in the fall where they were out without water for several days. And Hudsonville's right there. Just got the connection.
Don't take us wrong, I mean, we wanna help, and we will in any way we can, but right now, we don't have any ARP funding
We'll have to find out
right now.
the funding and see if there's anything we can get through the grants too.
Right. Well, even if just talking to the communities at this point, I think would be great from the county level, to get back together and say, this is what we need to happen.
When was this originally proposed?
He
Did
said late
everybody
nineties,
agree? When
late
it-
nineties.
Late nineties?
This is the Upper Tiger Valley Watershed Draft Environmental Assessment. This is dated, March 2001. There is a water resources plan that the county commission adopted in the early 2000s, late 90s. I have not been able to get a hold of that document, but it's referenced in here. And even the operation and maintenance from the treatment plants for Beverly and Mill Creek, as they are abandoned and you switch to one single source of water, it just shows it's more economically feasible for everybody.
If I can ask, why wasn't it done 20 years ago when it was first agreed on?
Well,
You weren't here.
yeah, and I don't know the history of the commission or anything, or how long you guys have actually served on.
About 20 years.
Right, I'm assuming that, but I'm just making sure. So at some point, I think in around 2014, the treatment plant was finalized up at the Elk Run.
Okay.
So after that, and I know that in between, Town of Beverly did a treatment plant upgrade on their system right at the same time, but that was an emergency project. And I know that because my company did the work for that project as well. But after that, there hasn't been a whole lot done yet. Now, Mill Creek has gone through a project, and there was complications with the first one, I know that. There's complications with the Hudsonville PSD project as well. So it's just like they've been working through it. Now we're to the point where somebody needs to consider, do we upgrade these treatment plants, or do we connect to the treatment plant that was constructed for its intended use?
Again, we said we're not against it, we'll look, see what we can do to help. It just makes sense from my perspective, but
Yeah.
we just need to see what we can do.
Right.
If we can help you with grant funding or trying to get grants and stuff, we'll be more than glad to do that.
I think just talking to the communities would be the greatest thing at this point, to try to get everybody on board again. And the way this document is prepared says, with assistance from the Upper Tiger Valley Watershed Partnership, Hudsonville PSD, West Virginia Rivers Coalition, West Virginia Council of Trout Unlimited, West Virginia DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Project sponsors are the Randolph County Commission, Town of Beverly, Town of Mill Creek, Town of Hudsonville, City of Elkins, and the Tigers Valley Soil Conservation District. So this was what's intended. There's letters of support in the original document from all these agencies as well, even Town of Mill Creek, Town of Hudsonville. This is what it was 20 years ago.
Now, being 20 years ago, are we gonna have to go back through and get letters of support from these agencies again? 'Cause
Well,
people are in control of them now.
You're correct. The letters of support were for the initial phase of building the impoundment at Elk Run. You know, cause there was a huge environmental assessment that took place in order to get that constructed. So all the letters were for that project initially. Now, and as you guys are well aware, y'all haven't been on the board for 20 years. So now you've got whole new administrations in both of these places. There just needs to be some work to get everybody back to the table again. And $1 million would be great.
Okay.
You guys have any questions for me that I can answer for you?
No, if not, we'll reach out to him, Corey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next item on the agenda is consider approval of funding request from Towers Valley Homestead Association. You gonna be here for Homestead?
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
I can see behind, Rhett.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You both could come up.
She's the speaker. But you have the information, so
I
come
do.
on, baby. All right.
Your mom put you on the front page.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm Maggie, the treasurer of Tigers Valley Homestead Association.
Oh,
It's me.
How
what a
nice.
gentleman.
Chivalry.
I was a Boy Scout.
Mooney's office always helping.
Yeah.
So,
Whatever.
and this is Gloria Collett. She is on our board of directors, and she's also the one that helped create this profit and loss statement that you had requested what we do at the last meeting. We had requested $25,000 to help support us in lieu of all the monies that we lost for having fundraisers and stuff during COVID. We're trying to get the building up and running, and we need so many repairs in different areas that it's just taking everything that we've got to keep it going. And we'd just like a little bit of help to get it back up there. You both have a copy of the
Yes.
profit and loss?
Yeah,
It's in a
So
folder.
our year in 2019, we was starting to get into fundraising. It was the beginning of our incorporation, and we were trying to get moving. And as we were doing that, then COVID hit the latter part of 2019 and into 2020. So then our sales dropped a lot in 2020 because we couldn't do the fundraising we had initially been doing in 2019. And then even in 2021, as we got back into doing our fundraising, there were still people leery about coming out and gathering because of COVID. So we're still not up and running to the full capacity in 2021. But in 2022, as you can see, we are at full capacity. We're doing all kinds of great things, fundraising, donors, grants, all that kinds of things are coming in. So we did a projection for the end for September, October, November, December, of what we've got coming. So we have pancake breakfast coming and a craft show coming. So we've added all that income and that expense to this to get a full year look at what 2022 would be.
Did you have a Buckwheat Festival?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah, and our
Well, you
profit
get it,
and projected profit at the end of this year is, wonderful, I think. Oh, I know it is.
$11,967.
And then our profit in, the beginning of 2019, by having just part of that year where we were able to start doing fundraising, getting a board together and getting membership involved, and volunteers, of course, your first year. We even had a small profit there. So COVID hit at the wrong time for us.
Yeah.
The wrong time.
You know, and it took, volunteers putting in a lot of hours of free work. So we were trying to cut expenses so we could keep making the bills. And then we had generous donations coming in that helped us get the kitchen dining hall restored, roof, part of the other section of the building's roof fixed. And also we were cutting down on doing a lot of things we had planned on doing because the money wasn't coming in, so we had to borrow some from what the generous donations came in order to keep the building going. But we were down to selling chairs and desks from the building in order to make ends meet. So we've been working hard. We're not just sitting back and just saying everyone give us money. We're really doing everything we can think of possibly to keep it going. And we just we see such new visions for the future that's gonna make everything bigger and better, and hopefully outreach to more communities to get them all coming in. And that's our goal. We just wanna get the people coming in and celebrating with us.
Y'all still working on the restoration of the second floor, right?
We haven't touched the second
Yeah,
floor.
started
We've
on-
cleaned it out completely, but it's the roof over the second floor that they're looking for a grant to
Yeah.
fix that roof. But that's the one that's giving us problems now. We did get a $10,000 grant from Snowshoe, which is helping to repair the leaks that are going on right now. So, but we need that roof replaced. It's so soft when they walk on it, and even though they put the tar and mesh roof coating on it,
Yeah.
it's still so soft underneath them. I'm afraid of a heavy snow load or something, it's just gonna. So.
Fire marshal has that section completely closed,
Second floor.
and we have to chain and lock both entries to
Yeah.
the second floor.
I know you guys done a lot of work up there.
And the one thing that this report doesn't show is all the in-kind donations. When we have a fundraiser, community comes in with hot dogs and buns and drinks and whatnots. Had it not been for that, we wouldn't see this profit.
Right, cause it cut down on our expenses. We didn't have to buy the ingredients to have the concessions. People just brought the ingredients to us to have it.
And the backhoe work that's done up there and all that work has not been charged. It was donated, so that's an enormous community support.
Anything else?
Yep.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve revenue replacement request from the Tigers Valley Homestead Association, amount of $15,000 to be taken from the American Rescue Plan Fund.
Okay, so motion on the floor is to approve the revenue replacement request from Tigers Valley Homestead Association, amount of $15,000 to be taken from our American Rescue Plan Fund. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So
Thank you guys
$15,000
so
request.
much. I
We
appreciate it.
got your address and,
Oh, yeah.
It's on the,
On the list.
yes,
Alright.
thank you.
thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
P.O. Box 115, right, Daily? That's the address?
P.O. Box 115,
Yep, all right.
26259.
Yep. All right, next item on the agenda is to consider approve funding request from Dry Fork Recreation Center. Just brought him the mic.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Thank you all for inviting me to come today. I think we sent a letter to you asking you for support. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for all your help in the past. And without you all, we wouldn't be able to do what we have now, And we have got our building. And thank you so much for that, helping us that. We hope to start, in fact, we're having a groundbreaking on the 10th, or the 9th, I'm sorry, the 9th of this month. And if anyone would like to come, you're welcome to come, but we do appreciate it so much for all your help. And for the past 3 years, we've had Autumn on the Dry Fork, and we've had a drive-through. And went pretty well, but this year we're going to try to have it like we always had, where people can come and watch us make apple butter, make the cider, and have the entertainment. We've always had the entertainment, and people keep asking, when are you gonna have it like that again? When are you gonna have it like that again? So we're gonna try to do it this year, Lord willing, so. The request was to ask me if you'd wanna help with our funding for the Autumn on the Dry Fork. Of course, I think last year our apples, they went from $500 to $900 for the apples we bought last year, so, and we've never raised our price. We, we're a small community, But this year, we're gonna have to do something, because we just cannot keep, you know, charging the same price and try to make anything at all, you know.
That's understandable.
You know, so, and everything else keeps going up, you know, so. But, anything you can do to help us, we sure would appreciate it, so.
We have this budgeted in our budget, didn't we?
Under fairs and festivals, yeah.
Okay,
So, we were planning to support you.
all right,
so.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
We like that apple butter.
I've still got a pint, I think, at my house.
Uh-huh.
I think I've still got a pint at my house.
I've got mandatory active shooter training next Friday, so I'm not gonna be able to make it down for your
Oh, okay.
groundbreaking,
All right.
but I wish I could.
And we
make it
brought
down.
the shovels in for Phyllis, she's
Yeah.
gonna use them up there,
Yeah,
so we had at the pool, so.
That'd be great, so.
Alright, so a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the funding request for autumn on the dry fork in the amount of $2,500 to be taken from the fairs and festivals fund.
Alright, so motion on the floor is to approve the funding request from Autumn on the Dry Fork in the amount of $2,500 to be taken from our budget line of fairs and festivals. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
God bless you, sure
Thank you.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We're a small community, but we've worked really hard with what we have, you know, we have a pavilion, we have a concession stand, we have a stage and ball field, and it's hard for a small community like that to, you know, we just keep right on going.
Are you gonna have a community center? I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna be really
Lord,
nice.
Lord willing, in the maybe next year, we'll have a community center, so.
Yep.
We
Yep.
sure appreciate that, thanks so much.
We appreciate those people on that side of the county.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, next item on the agenda is to consider approval of funding request from the Celtic Arts Festival.
Good afternoon, once again, my name's Timothy Ferguson. It's my brother David Ferguson, he's the Vice President of the West Virginia Wild and Wonderful Celtic Festival and Highland Games Incorporated. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for us so far, and I really hope you consider our request for funding. The event has already grown substantially. We've got a surprise the other day. A Virginia-based Border Collie Association has agreed to at least do a sheep herding demonstration with their Border Collies, and they're going to attempt to make it an official U.S. competition for other Border Collie teams to compete. So the number of clans is increasing. We've got at least a half a dozen clans signed up so far. I've made contact with a couple of food vendors. If you like apple butter, you're gonna love haggis. So there will be.
It sounds delicious.
Look it up.
Do we have your clan going to this? I wanna see your clan, you got a big clan.
As long as all the Siler clan doesn't come over.
Yeah, I
I'll bring
appreciate,
all the Kurt's clan up there.
once again, I appreciate the opportunity and once again, if we are approved for funding, would it be okay to put that information that you've supported us on our website and social media and so on and so forth?
Yes,
Okay, and it should be Randolph County Commission?
yes.
Okay, that's all, thank you.
Well, I only got one request, and that's what I want y'all to add that game of sheep tossing.
Sheep tossing?
Okay.
Well, see, that's what the Border Collie Association, they're bringing the sheep for us to toss.
And I want him to be the first participant in it.
There you go.
I want a small sheep.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Small sheep. Alright, go ahead.
Alright. I'd like to make a motion to approve the funding request in the amount of $5,000 to be taken from the hotel motel fund.
Alright, so we have a motion on the floor to to approve the funding request from the Celtic Arts Festival in the amount of $5,000 to be taken from our hotel motel fund. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So $5,000 out of our hotel motel tax.
Thank you very much. Be great.
And I look forward to going to it. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
how long is it?
I'll tell you what, the commission members and staff get in for free.
No.
I will not charge you.
We'll support it any way we can,
Well,
but I think it's gonna be good. I think
How
it'll be
long
good.
does it run?
It's an all-day event, it's gonna go, gates will open for the general public at 9, everything should be set up and ready to go. We probably won't run anybody out until 7 in the evening, so that the vendors can tear down and move out without.
Okay, so it's just a one-day event?
Yes, I'm looking forward to making it a 2-day, event, possibly next year, but we have to grow.
Oh, of course.
We can't, I think some of the vendors will be more, up to coming for 2 days rather than just one, they're gonna make more money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, but I need to get get it established, get it rolling, see how it goes. So far, it's looking
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
better than expected.
Yeah. Anything like that's a plus for the county. I mean, that helps the county out as well, and if you can run it 2 days, it's even better.
Because hopefully we benefit from people coming and staying in the hotel, so we have that tax again to give out.
Right, we're working on, trying to get some partnerships with some hotels,
Outside the city, please,
outside the city.
so that we get the tax. If they stay in the city limits, then we don't get that tax.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We do, but we don't have their address. We need your all's address, so where she can mail the check.
Yes.
I got a card, but it doesn't have an address on it.
It's P.O. Box 115.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Be through you, I can write it on there.
Just somewhere right in here.
I'm definitely coming because I want to see Siler slam the machine.
We're gonna do.
And that needs to be front page paper too. Him throwing his back out.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it's not actually sheep, is it? Sheep?
Yeah, but he heard sheep last time.
I just got screw with it.
He said, "Excuse me, did I hear sheep?"
Yeah, I think the environmentalists wouldn't like that very much. Animal rights people. Thank you.
5304 Laurel Lane, Clarksburg.
Yes.
To you or to the?
West Virginia Wild Wonderful Celtic Festival
All right, great.
Incorporated, thank you.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
All right, next item on the agenda is consider approval of recommendation of the Fiduciary Commission on the state of William Pauley.
Brought over the file.
Uh-huh.
Right there. No, the big
Right
one,
there.
Oh, you need
the
this.
side date.
Going with the sticky note.
Oh, I got it.
You need this or anything with? Okay.
I could talk a little bit about it if you want me to.
Please.
This is an estate that started, I believe the gentleman died back in 2016. There's been some issues with the estate. Jennifer Morgan was appointed as fiduciary commissioner to hold a hearing. That was all settled. But now the issue is, they're ready to do the final settlement and close the estate, but the lady that was appointed over the estate is now incompetent. So, if you read that recommendation there, it explains that she can't sign the final settlement because she's incompetent. Her guardian or power of attorney cannot sign a final settlement. That's not legal to do that. We received 2 different final settlements. One signed by the guardian, which was not acceptable.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, we received a final settlement that was supposedly signed by the lady that's incompetent from a lawyer's office. So Jennifer is not accepting that one either. She's wanting the sheriff to be appointed to finish up the duties.
All right.
She doesn't feel that either one of these people that's asking to be appointed should be allowed to after this came through with 2 final settlements.
Yeah, she's put on here the executives be removed from her duties and the law firm be prohibited, and to appoint the sheriff of Randolph County as administrator.
They're trying to sell this lady's home to pay for her nursing home care.
That's fine, okay.
So that's the whole issue. They're trying to get this all done to pay for her nursing home care.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation of the fiduciary commissioner as presented.
So motion on the floor is to accept the recommendation of fiduciary commissioner as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, next is consider approval of the funding request from Tires Valley Boosters. Is anybody here for that? You wanna speak to that?
Thanks, John.
Yeah. There you go. You had to speak to that?
Yeah, I received a couple calls from boosters for the Tigers Valley high school football team and middle school. They had their scoreboard apparently got struck by lightning or something happened to it, blew the boards out of it, and they have to have a new scoreboard, which is $11,000. So in the
interim,
they want to put up a screen and projector, which is going to cost around $1,000, to do so, and they've asked for some help in the funding on it. I've spoke with Debbie at the school board, and they are paying for the $11,000 scoreboard, but that takes time before it's gonna be in or before they can get it here. So they recommended us to help, asking for at least the 500 if they could for funding.
Which I think is a good investment for us to help up at the valley too, for them to have, be able to see the scoreboards and stuff.
Yeah, it'll help them until they can get the,
We're helping them, and the school board's gonna come to the rescue and replace the thing.
yes, we're gonna help them out until they can get held over, until the school board can
Yeah.
get the scoreboard in and get it put up for them.
So county will come in and help them out again,
Yeah.
the school board. Okay, we have a motion.
I have, I'll make a motion to accept the funding request for Tigers Valley boosters in the amount of $500 we taken from Hotel Motel.
So the motion on the floor is to accept the funding request from Tigers Valley boosters in the amount of $500 we taken from our Hotel Motel. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, next item on the agenda is consider a reappointment to Valley Head Public Library. We have a letter from the Valley Head Public Library requesting reappointment of Janice Brady for another 5-year term beginning July 2022 through June 30th, 2027 as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Valley Head Public Library. So this is just a reappointment. Do I have a motion to reappoint Janice Brady?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of Janice Brady to the Valley Head Public Library. This is a 5-year term beginning immediately and ending June 30th of 2027.
So motion on the floor is to approve the reappointment of Janice Brady to the Valley Head Public Library, 5-year term, beginning immediately and ending June 30th of 2027. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we also have a request from the Norton Harding Jimtown PSD to appoint Obie Currents.
Gary Kearns.
Yeah, he have an unexpired term of Obie Currents, and they're asking us to appoint Gary Currents to fill that vacancy. His appointment will begin today and end on June 30th of 2026. So do I have a motion to appoint Gary Currents?
I'll make a motion to appoint Gary Kearns to the Norton Harding Jimtown PSD to fill the unexpired term of O.B. Kearns. His appointment will begin today and end June 30th of 2026.
So motion on the floor is to appoint Gary Kearns to the Norton Harding Jimtown PSD to fill the unexpired term. Appointment begin today and end on June 30th, 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next item on the agenda is to consider approval of reappointment to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings Enforcement Agency.
Okay.
So we have, we're looking to reappoint John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Land Enforcement Agency for a 1-year term beginning today and ending on August 31st, 2023. So to have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to reappoint John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Land Enforcement Agency. This will be 1-year term beginning today and ending August 31st of 2023.
So, motion on the floor is to reappoint John Hempel to the Randolph County Unsafe Buildings and Land Enforcement Agency, beginning today and ending on August 31st of 2023. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, final settlements, annual countings.
We've got 14 final settlements. No other?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the 14 final settlements as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the 14
Yes.
final settlements as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Budget revisions.
Just one.
Is it from the, let me think here, is it from the sheriff?
At least one of them.
Oh, look, it is. All right, so we have a state budget revision to increase the refunds reimbursement by $653. It was originally $22,000, so now it is $22,063.08.
I got your money back.
Oh, I see that. So, okay, with the state budget revision, we have to redo roll call votes. Commissioner Seiler,
Aye.
Commissioner Kiesling, aye. So, is that the only one? All right. Division of Property Revenues Assessments.
Okay, Phyllis said she'd talk to you guys about this one.
We have it. Is it on?
13 in this.
Yes.
And then there's 25 in this stack. So, let's put all those together. But all of the, yeah, and all those 13 need signed individually too.
Yeah, I got the letter for the 13.
Okay, so we have 20 or 38 total.
38 total, I don't know if you wanna do them separate or how you want.
We'll do the 13 first,
Alright,
this one thing, but it's 13 exonerations.
alright, I'll make a motion to approve the 13 erroneous assessments as submitted,
Exonerations.
or exoneration, I'm sorry.
That's fine. So we have a motion on the floor to approve the first 13 exonerations as submitted by our assessor. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Alright, then I have 25, I'll make a motion to approve 25 exonerations as submitted.
So the next is that, motion on the floor to approve 25 exonerations as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, distressed properties? No distressed properties. Fire fee adjustments?
12.
We have 12 fire fee adjustments. I have a motion to approve the 12 fire fee.
I'll make a motion to approve 12 fire fee adjustments as submitted.
Motion on the floor is approved the 12 fire fee adjustments as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Payment of the bills.